So today I will be talking about women's rights in Tanzania. So Tanzania is a beautiful country on the eastern coast of Africa. You can see there to the east of Democratic Republic of the Congo. And it has a population of just under 48.3 million. Its government is a democratic republic, and the country is a former British colony which gained its independence in 1961. And to give you some perspective on the size of Tanzania, its land area is about twice that of California. Tanzania's religious makeup is approximately 1/3 Muslim, 1/3 Christian, and 1/3 indigenous animist religions. There are, on average, 5 children born to every Tanzanian woman, which brings me to my topic. What are the issues that face women in Tanzania and what causes them? What is being done to improve women's rights in this country? The existing gender imbalances and inequalities in Tanzania prevent the society from realizing its full potential in economic, social, and political developments. Firstly, human trafficking is a huge issue in Tanzania. This modern form of slavery has caused significant numbers of girls, women, and boys to be sold into sex slavery, prostitution, and forced labor. Many will become infected with deadly diseases such as HIV and AIDS. In many cases, strangers abduct women to sell them as property, but in some parts of Tanzania, cultural views are still so traditional that fathers will sell their own daughters into slavery. Like many societies in Africa, customary laws and practices remain discriminatory against women on topics of property ownership and institutionalized violence against women. Wife battering, rape, and female genital mutilation are examples of this violence. I found an article from July of 2012 that talks about a young girl in Tanzania whose father sold her to a man who was in his 20s when she was 8 years old because her family needed money. Her purchaser, who posed as her brother during the years he held her captive, kept her as a sex slave for 3 years before authorities discovered her situation, her being pregnant at the age of 11. While the police got involved in this case, as they try to do with all victims of human trafficking, fathers are still selling their daughters into slavery for monetary gain, and men all over Tanzania continue to abduct women and girls for the same purpose. The men who commit such crimes set an example for their sons and for other members of society that shows that human trafficking is acceptable. And over time, this will create a culture that sees human trafficking and its subcategories as normal. Police forces are, however, involved in eradicating human trafficking as much as possible. Another issue that women face in Tanzania is that legislation surrounding abortion is extremely unclear, leading many women to believe that abortions are illegal. It has only recently been made legal to have an abortion, but only if the pregnancy poses a risk or an injury to the woman's physical or mental health. Many women are unaware of this newly implemented law, so women turn to unsafe and botched abortion methods to abort or to terminate their pregnancies. 1/3 of deaths related to pregnancy and childbirth in Tanzania are due to unsafe abortions. This issue goes to show that the existing legal system does not reach much of the rural population, and many women are unaware of what is going on politically in their country, specifically in regard to their own rights. While the recent laws permitting abortion under certain circumstances are a step forward in the direction of women's rights, there is still much to be done to improve the lives and rights of women in Tanzania. It is estimated that women make up approximately 80% of labor force in rural areas and are responsible for 60% of the country's entire agricultural production. Yet, women own only less than 1/4 of the food-producing land. The government of Tanzania committed to mass media campaigns to improve awareness of the importance of women's rights. The objective of such campaigns is to enhance the societal status of women as a gender through increased knowledge of their legal and human rights, as well as the fundamental need for equality in order to create a thriving nation. These campaigns, in addition to other tactics, will begin to teach about basic human rights in elementary schools. Teaching children, especially boys who are the future of Tanzania, about women's rights will, in the future, create a country more educated and open to women as more prominent figures of society. Financially, approximately 60% of Tanzanian women live below the poverty line. Education is one of the keys to reducing this statistic and also to closing the gap between males and females. Currently in Tanzania, girls account for only 17% of enrollment at universities. The Tanzanian government has said that it will open educational institutions for girls and young women and establish workshops that will teach women useful skills that they can put to work in the job market. The issues affecting women in Tanzania are being actively fought by the government, and I think there's hope for women's conditions